Well, in our first section of Chapter 4, we're going right to Unit 4.2, and we're going to be dealing with the Pythagorean theorem and the distance formula, how to find the distance between 2 points. All right, so here we have a picture of Mount St. Helens in Washington, and this is a topographical picture that shows altitude. All right, so it's as if you were looking right down on the mountain, and these are the altitudes, of course, as the mountain gets higher, the altitudes get higher. So out here, the altitude is 1,250 feet. Here, altitude is 1,500 feet, 1,750 feet, 2,000 feet, 220. So you can see this is a graduated view of the altitude of this mountain. And we've got different points here. First of all, they say estimate the elevation of point A. So here's point A. So that's between a little higher than 1,500, because this line is 1,500, and imagine the mountain is increasing. And this line is 1,750. So since it's a lot closer to 1,500 than 1,750, it is an estimate, but we're going to estimate, I don't know, what? 1,600 meters. I'm sorry, did I say feet before? This is in meters. If you wanted to say 1,550, that'd be fine by me. It's just an estimate to show that it's higher than 1,500, but less than 1,750. Question number 2. Point X and Y are 5,100 meters apart. Between here and here on our graph, the distance is 5,150 meters apart, looking straight down at the map. Find the grade of the trail that connects those 2 points. Find the grade, which is the change in Y over change in X. Grade is a way to say slope. So if we want to think of it, I can't really draw a 3D picture here, but if this was point X and this was point Y, the distance between X and Y is 5,100 meters. But point X is at an elevation of 1,500. Look, point X is right on that line, the 1,500 line. This is at an elevation of 1,500 meters. And point Y is right on the point that's at an elevation of 2,250. Okay, so the change in the elevation is 2,250 minus 1,500. That's the change in the elevation. That's the change in the vertical, if you will. And then the change in the horizontal, we were told, was 5,100. So when we do that calculation, we're going to get, well, we don't have much room here, 750 meters over 5,100 meters. And so that's going to equal the decimal 0.147. So the slope would be 0.147, but if we want to change this to a grade is like a percent, actually a grade is a percent, we'd move the decimal over 2 and add the percent sign. Now, how far, question number 3, how far would you walk along a trail from point X to point Y? All right, so this is the mountain. And if we want to walk from point X to point Y, that's going to be the distance between these two values right here. Now our distance formula is the change in x values squared, the change in y values squared, the square root of that. That's our distance formula. So the distance between x and y, what's the difference? What's the distance between along the horizontal? You can think of this, I'll go ahead and write this. It's like the square root of the horizontal change squared plus the square root of the vertical change. Square root on the outside, the difference in the horizontal squared plus the difference in the vertical squared. Okay, so the difference in the horizontal here is 5,100 meters. And we already calculated 2250 minus 1,500. The difference in the vertical is 750 squared. So we're going to put this in our calculator. So the distance is going to be the square root. When we put that in our calculator and add them up, we get 2,657,500. And then when we take the square root of that number, we get 5,154.9 meters. The horizontal distance between them is 5,100 meters, but if you had to walk the path, which is along this incline here, that would be 5,152 meters. 5,154.9 meters. Let's go ahead and look at problem number 4. Oh, wait a minute, we didn't finish question number 3. Question number 3 then asked us how many miles is it. Find the distance to the nearest tenth of a meter, then convert to feet and to miles. All right, we still have a little bit of a conversion. This is to the nearest tenth of a meter. Okay, so let's convert to feet. 5,154.9 meters. All right, so we're going to need a fraction that equals 1 that has feet in the numerator and meters in the denominator. 3.28 feet equals 1 meter. So they cancel. So when you multiply across 5,154.9 times 3.28 is going to give you 16,908.1 feet. So we have it in meters, we have it in feet, and now we want to change feet to miles. 16,908.1 feet. We need a fraction that has feet in the denominator and miles in the numerator. And 1 mile is 5,280 feet. They'll cancel. So 16,908.1 is my numerator. 5,280 is my denominator. And that's going to be approximately 3.2 miles.